So I'll start with a little bit of history here. The Jersey Magazine made its debut on WDHA back in August of 2021. So we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary. In January of this year, we also started the Jersey Magazine on WMTR, and we air there on Sunday mornings from 7:30 to 8 o'clock. A little bit later on Sunday mornings, and he and I wave to each other each Sunday. Todd Leonard comes on to WDHA. And Todd is my guest this morning here on the Jersey Magazine. Good morning, and nice to see you outside the radio station.
Yeah, it's a rare treat, Jim. I know you just told the audience that we wave to each other. I'm going right into the studio like a bat out of hell, and you're back doing your thing, but it's a pleasure.
So for our listeners who don't know you, I know you're a trial attorney. How did you get involved in law? What was it that attracted you to law?
Well, and Jim, I was very blessed. I had wonderful parents, and my dad was a trial lawyer, and I just grew up. I was very fortunate. My dad was my hero. Like probably a lot of kids, they look up to their parents, and my dad just was a wonderful person. So I saw him not only as a father, but as a trial lawyer. I was able to work with him in the summers, and that's all I knew once I became a lawyer is what my dad did was personal injury law. So I followed in his footsteps, and I was blessed to work with him and my brother for many years. My dad just was a mentor and just a special person.
And if there had been a plan B for you, what might that have been?
Well, like a lot of young athletes, I was delusional. I thought I was going to be a pro basketball player. And then reality struck. I went to Pocono Mountain basketball camp at 13, and I realized that was not going to happen. So, but I was a psychology major at college at Syracuse, and I always loved to talk to people. So I'm not really sure. It just kind of fell in my lap of just being a lawyer.
Now, the Todd Leonard Show that airs on WMTR on Sunday mornings from 9 to 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
How did you get involved in radio? What was the impetus for that?
Well, it's interesting. I've been very fortunate, very blessed in life, and I always wanted to try to give back. I was involved in Special Olympics basketball and soccer for 20 years, and being blessed for kids now, my schedule got a little crazy, so it was hard for me to do the full-time coaching, on the weekends. So I just wanted to do something different. I think it's important to try new things in life, and I'm used to talking to people, and on the radio format, it's obviously not adversarial. It's you having great people come on. So I wanted to try something new.
Did you do radio at Syracuse? I know they have an excellent communications program there.
Yeah, the Newhouse School, I was not involved in any broadcast journalism at all. I mean, obviously, growing up, I would watch all the great shows, but I never had a background in it.
I got into radio as an accident. I played DJ as a kid with a record player at home and all of that. But Todd, I didn't take a communications class until I think it was my junior year in college, when I'd been working at the radio station just because it seemed like something fun to do. But I was thinking about going into law school. In fact, until I was about 19, I considered the priesthood for a while, but then thought about law school and then said, you know what? I don't think I could take any more classrooms. So that went out the window. And I thought, well, this radio thing, it's kind of fun, maybe. And so I took a communications class junior year, just in case I decided to go into this as a living. And well, like I say, it happened by accident, but here I am.
Interesting. I was reflecting, being, so honored to have you on today. I'm used to now asking people questions. So this is, kind of an unusual situation, but that's part of life's journey, Jim, as I see it. You never know what path you're going to go on, and going back to radio, I didn't envision doing it, but I love it. I really enjoy it, and it's fun.
So you talk about the journey of giving back, and you have a wide variety of guests who have been on your show. What kind of guests do you look for?
I look for people that are just giving back, not looking for the pat on the back, just good people, making it better. I know it sounds like a cliche, but I think too often we focus on the negative instead of the positive folks and stories in life. And I've been fortunate. We've had a lot of different guests of all different walks of life. And I just look for good people doing good things, lifting up the community. Some folks are very motivational, very inspirational, and hopefully it'll, get somebody who's listening to get involved.
Todd Leonard's my guest here at 105.5 WDHA on the Jersey Magazine. We're also on Sunday mornings on WMTR, where the Todd Leonard Show airs on MTR on Sundays from 9 to 10 a.m. And I do see a wide variety of guests come into the building. I'll put you on the spot. What's your favorite kind of topic to get into? Not necessarily your favorite guest, but your favorite kind of topic to get into on the show, Todd.
I always love people that pick themselves up through whatever goes on in life, because we all have some issues that come up and it's part of living in the real world. I love people that go on a journey with us and just talk about what they've gone through. And despite a lot of hardship, they've turned it around and became very positive and really inspired others. So those are my favorite guests. But candidly, I love all my guests. They take time out of their schedule. They come up early, as you know. I've been very fortunate. I was doing the show from 8 to 9 a.m. for a while. And think about getting people willing to drive to the studio and get up so early and then basically spend an hour with me. So those are the folks that I really love. Todd,
during the week, as you know, I host the WDHA Morning Jolt, and getting myself to the radio station in time to do a morning radio show can be a bit of an adventure. Todd Leonard is my guest here at 105.5 WDHA and WMTR here on the Jersey Magazine. You can hear him Sunday mornings on MTR on the Todd Leonard Show. We were talking before we started the interview about Springfield. That's the town that you grew up in. And for the past 2 seasons, I've been the pitching coach for Jonathan Dayton High School, the Bulldogs, who have had 2 good seasons. I don't know if that's because of me or in spite of me, but one of the things that has struck me, Todd, is how close that town of Springfield is. And it's a wide, disparate group of people, but there is a closeness to that community that I was not expecting when I first arrived there.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Springfield. I lived on Pitt Road, and I still have lifelong friends. We used to call ourselves the Chisholm Chickens. I went to Raymond Chisholm Elementary School, a wonderful group of friends, and really candidly through my whole life. And I do agree, a very close-knit community, very diverse. And I was very fortunate. I don't want to sound overly nostalgic, but I do think it's important to be involved in a town where everybody kind of cares for each other and pulls together and respects each other.
And, you see that in a lot of small towns here in New Jersey. And I was even mentioning to you a couple of the neighborhoods that I lived in the Bronx. You saw that in the community. There was one in particular. I lived in the Woodlawn neighborhood. I'm not sure if you know where that is, but it was very, very much like suburban New Jersey in that there were natural borders to it. There was a park on one side. There was a huge Woodlawn cemetery, which is very historic, on the bottom. And there was a highway and train tracks on another side. So it was kind of this little enclave. But if you drove through it, and I didn't tell you where you were, you'd swear that you were in one of the suburban towns here in New Jersey. And there was a tightness to that neighborhood that a lot of towns like Madison, where I live, and Springfield remind me of as well, that just that sense of community, Todd.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, which I love doing on my show, is there are wonderful people out there and care so deeply about whatever community they're part of. I bring on a lot of different civic organizations, and this really exemplifies the mission of my show, which is keeping the community together. I grew up, I knew my neighbors, and candidly, as time goes on, you realize a lot of neighbors a lot of people don't know their neighbors anymore. I used to, you go down the street and you wave to everyone. Now everybody goes right into their garage or whatever. They pull the blinds down and that's it. So I want to bring that back, Jim, where people are feeling part of the fabric of the community.
Tell our listeners, Todd, about the Leonard Foundation.
Yeah, so I feel very blessed in my life, and I want to help, especially children that are battling cancer. Pediatric cancer can touch anyone at any given moment. So I created a foundation to try to raise money and awareness of that. We also are involved in social causes. And also I lost my dad to pancreatic cancer. And, if you know anybody that's gone through that, it's beyond a heartache. And my dad went from just an incredible tour de force. And 5.5 months, sadly, he was gone. And the greatest gift my dad ever gave me was never give up hope. And that's why I found the foundation is also very important, because it hopefully will raise money so I can give back. You know, we had Make-A-Wish New Jersey on recently, Mike Dominic, and talk about someone who came on, very powerful, very emotional show. They're raising money to help very critically ill children have a wish, you know, making wishes come true. So that's why I feel very strongly about the foundation.
Todd, for listeners who want to learn more about this program, where do they go?
Well,
The radio show.
Yeah, I advertise a bit like P.T. Barnum, not so much as my law firm, that's off the charts, but the ToddLeonardShow.com. We have a robust website. I have a YouTube channel. Just Google Todd Leonard Show YouTube. I'm on various platforms. And, you know, once again, I'm trying to reach out to the masses, at least so they can learn about the show.
So again, that is ToddLeonardShow.com. Todd, great talking with you outside of the radio station. Best of luck, continued luck with the show, and I'll hear you on the radio.
And good luck today with your baseball game too, Jim.